gale force winds and sub-zero temperatures, a rescue team has been deployed. A young hiker has plunged 250 metres off a cliff. It's a race against time to save his life. These are the unsung heroes of the Scottish Highlands, dedicated volunteers who risk their lives every day in Britain's highest peaks. The Cairngorm Mountain Range have a climate similar to the Arctic tundra. The weather here is extremely changeable. Within minutes, a fine day can become a blizzard.
It's the problem with all the mountains, really, Scotland in particular, because it is a very variable climate, especially up the mountains.
I'm with the Cairngorm Mountain Rescue Team as they head up to the summit.
Well, it's not a blue sky day, so you probably feel Cairngorm in its glory.
A train takes us up to 3,600 metres. From here, we walk.
Seeing this is hard work. Okay?
Yeah.
What, 5?
Yeah.
On the plateau below the summit, the men check for signs of potential avalanches.
It's a sheer drop of about 300 metres. Yeah, about 1,000 feet. And when the light's very poor, it's very difficult to see that edge. And also with the amount of drifting snow, if you get any drifting snow, it builds up into what's a cornice or a great big huge snow overhang, and it overhangs the slope below.
Alasdair, known as Cube, was involved in the rescue of a climber here only last week.
He probably went through a little cornice like this, and then the slope below him avalanched.
I'm being told by Alistair this is a relatively benign day. We're on the top of a cliff that we've just walked up, almost what seemed to me a sheer wall of snow to get to the top of this cliff, and this is on the edge of the Cairngorm plateau, and the wind just whistles or howls across the top here. But if this is a mild day, I hate to think what it is like when there's a really bad weather up here.
What makes the Cairngorms so unique is its easy accessibility as a winter adventure playground. Attracting skiers, climbers and walkers, the area is an important part of Scotland's tourist industry, worth around $750 million a year. But more tourists taking risks means more accidents. Last year, 24 people were killed in Scotland's mountains. Often the only thing between life and death up here are the mountain rescue volunteers.
Rescue base, Willie here.
A call has come in at the Cairngorm Mountain Rescue HQ. A climber is injured and needs to be evacuated off the mountain.
What's your plan for this guy who's fallen through the cornice with the broken...
Strong winds and heavy snow will make rescue difficult. Team leader Willie Anderson fears the climber might have caused an avalanche.
And the wind's coming in from this direction. Southeast.
All the team's members are unpaid and are on call 24/7.
This is the Husky race.
The group is made up of doctors, mountain guides, carpenters and teachers.
I've arranged an ambulance to come and pick him up.
We get a call. Members of Ski Patrol, also members of Mountain Rescue, have reached the injured man first. Apart from a broken ankle, he's safe.
Cold and a little bit hurt pride, but you know, apart from that.
As the climbers loaded into the ambulance, the weather worsens. And yet skiers and especially climbers keep pouring in.
If you take today, for example, Cairngorm, the weather was atrocious, and yet the reports from our guys in the hill was the people were still walking into the corries in their droves.
A corrie is a mountain slope shaped like a bowl. High in the Cairngorms, many of the corries are popular winter climbing spots.
Yeah, I mean, to the inexperienced eye, I've got to say, crawling up that crevice there in snow doesn't look like a lot of fun.
Well, it doesn't look like a lot of fun to you, but for a lot of people that's fun.
I've walked up here with Cube, who's trying to explain to me the attraction of climbing these dangerous walls of rock.
Are they experienced or?
The word experienced is a word that's bandied around a lot, but that word is used quite a lot when people aren't actually what I would call experienced. They maybe had a few days out in the Scottish winter and that's it.
But the Scottish winter can surprise even the most experienced climbers.
We were walking, and then the next thing I remember, I was lying on my side, basically blown by the wind. That's where we thought, like, that's a bit serious now.
In January, climbing instructors Philip and Michael came to climb the corries. They started crossing the plateau under clear skies. Very quickly, it all changed.
I thought this is starting to turn in a very unpleasant fashion. I mean, to the point where we were squatted down with axes dug into the ice just to stop ourselves being blown all across it.
The wind had grown to 140 kilometres an hour. Unable to stand, the pair were caught near the top of a cliff.
After not very many metres, you'd have been blown over the edge.
200 meters drop, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the death sentence. Yeah.
Using a mobile, they contacted the rescue team who, under Willie's leadership, immediately swung into action.
After like 20 minutes maybe, the guy, he gave me a call back saying there will be a team going up to collect you, basically, yeah.
Battling the ferocious winds, the team struggled to find them.
Pretty firm above here, I think.
Yeah, just what chucking crampons on then?
Probably well we've got lights just as well. Not nearly as wild as it was earlier. No.
Philip and Michael were sheltering as best they could in an ice trench, getting dangerously cold as snow piled on top of them.
Wait for the line!
5 hours after their call, they finally saw some lights.
And then they disappeared for a bit, and the lights came back into view.
Then the next thing I remember is like chocolate in my mouth, and I felt like at home straight away, yeah. Yeah.
They admitted that certainly Philip would have been dead by the morning. He had no resources left by the time we got to him.
What would have killed him?
Hypothermia would have killed him, yeah.
Across the Highlands, mountain rescue teams average about 500 call-outs every year, but the service doesn't come cheap. Insurance, equipment and vital clothing are all expensive. It costs $150,000 a year to run the Cairngorm team alone. They get just $35,000 from the government. They have to raise the rest themselves.
We have noticed recently that it is becoming more and more difficult. The squeeze just seems to be on there, and we are beginning to wonder what the future will hold.
Cube and Simon are back on the mountain. They've had a call from the police about 2 lost walkers.
Hello!
Just past the tree line, Cube finds them.
And I thought it was yours. Aye, it's pretty cool. Aye.
Alright. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, and you? Natalie, right, come on Natalie.
How are you feeling at the moment?
Fine, just a wee bit dizzy and sick.
A bit dizzy?
Yeah,
And
I've
sick?
been sick.
And how about yourself? How are you feeling? I saw you
it's
shivering.
freezing cold. We're heading to try and see some snow. It's our last day and we kind of just get lost, and we followed the track and thought it'd be the best track, and then we ran out of track and we ran out of signal. So then we thought the best kind of idea was to try and walk up as high as you could to try and get some sort of signal.
No, good.
And then we eventually got a signal.
within a few hours they'd be hypothermic. It is potential, you know, there to kill yourself out here.
Every day, more people head into these mountains, possibly unaware of the risks, or even the people who will drop everything to save them if trouble strikes.